We didn't survive our first game jam. We're currently working on our second game. Our first game we paused. We were building it in Unity. We're now using Unreal Engine 5. And we're making a Kiwi-centric adventure game with third-person shooter perspective, but it's there's no shooting. So pixel art characters and low poly 3D environs, PS1 styles. It's a Kiwi-centric story-driven adventure, semi-open world, logic problem-based, probably an unofficial rating of M15 or M16. So in our first game jam, we lost so many people, but afterwards we realized who was really committed, and we kept them, grew our team gradually, and now there's 7 of us. I'm the story and scriptwriter, lead designer, producer, and art director. We have a level designer and 2D pixel character artist who also does animation. We have a 3D environment artist. We have a level designer. We have an audio lead, and we have an Unreal Engine developer. So this is a little video about our experience in the game jam. It was Dungeon Crawler Jam 2024. So we started strong. We had a team of 7, and everyone was signed up on the Trello, the Itch, and the Jam Discord. And we had 2 rooms in our Discord for the jam-specific conversations and shares. First thing that happened, just before the jam started, we lost our main coder. As the jam started and we began to flesh out our design, I had a concept I was banging around, shapes-based RPG, where you collect toothpicks to build forts to protect your items, which are mostly other toothpicks, and you can also throw toothpicks at enemies. I was going to go with kind of rubber band physics, throwing toothpicks, and the shapes would be like tanks. I thought keep it simple, right? Next Frame's idea. Next Frame is our level design support and 2D pixel artist and animator. His idea was better. He kept the toothpicks but came up with a kitchen nightmare concept. Our working title was Ramsey's Kitchen Night. I cosmic jammed the concept and we started hashing out the design and battle style. We lost our secondary coder who decided our game concept was too ambitious in the time frame, which was like, I think it was 4 or 5 days, or he just preferred to go it alone, so he then became competition, so we removed him from the jam Trello. Our last coder left for the length of the jam because he was too busy with uni. Thankfully we were able to find a temp coder but using gdevelop, so we had to switch from Unity. The other person interested in helping us out was using Unity but thought our game was too ambitious again. So Mary Q came on board using gdevelop to help us out and be our main coder. Then we were attacked by zombies. No, we weren't. Next Frame delivered the boss character design and some minions. Queso was our boss, Spanish for cheese, a cheeseburger. Starts off as a burger, but then the patty with cheese is queso. Top burger bun is a shield and the pin in the bun. So Queso was our first boss. He was a cheeseburger general with an army of French fries. When the player encountered him, they will see a delicious-looking burger sitting on a plate with a sandwich stick penetrating down through his top bun. Suddenly an arm will appear from behind the bun, pulling out the stick. The top bun falls off as the patty rises, and you are greeted by a horrible-looking patty with cheese everywhere, sauce dripping, and a bite taken out of it. He wields his fallen bun like a shield and his long sandwich stick like a spear. And that was Next Frame's boss design. And I decided that we should have golf mechanic style battles because we were doing a dungeon crawler, so I thought kind of turn-based. The golf mechanic is like you hit a button and then there's a rising scale and then you hit a button again and that's accuracy and speed and stuff like that. So we had the first time you hit the button is whether you or not you hit the bad guy, and the second button is whether it's a critical hit. So the original concept, so we're going with a kitchen nightmare. It's first person, but you play a Gaviscon tablet or packet, and you have to get to the person who is munching out hard, and there's a timer for when he's going to need you. Dairy, meat, chips, biscuits, etc. He's a bit of a slob. We could have it so you have to save him more than once, and you have to swap between fighting enemies and helping the human. Enemies are inanimate objects that would be in a kitchen as well as bad food. We have to incorporate cosmic into the game because that was the theme. When you face off against an enemy, it's like SNES boxing, but the UX and damaging is like a JRPG. I was thinking to control it like golf games, so target cursor moves fast along a bar. The outer bar, you tap it when it's in it. Then if you get it right, that means you hit them. And if you get within the inner bar for a second time, you hit them hard. Critical hit. We just have to insert maybe like a black hole on the ceiling and a Lovecraftian theme to the characters. It could be turn-based with real-time animation like JRPGs. That was like, we did all that on the first day, and we did, or the first 2 days. And we did a whole bunch of images and animations, renderings, and we also managed to get some gameplay done. I'll go into more detail in my second video, but things fell apart after that. Thanks for watching. Like if you like, please consider subscribing. I throw up videos on Thursday and bi-weekly. And if you want to talk about indie game development, stuff like that, please leave a comment and I'll try to get back to you. Hey, so basically what we did is pull out of the jam halfway through because we couldn't find a replacement temporary coder in time. Then when we did find a long-term coder, we began by continuing with development on the jam game in Unity, but decided to focus our energies on just one game at a time, which turned out to be our main Kiwi-centric, story-driven, logic puzzle walk-around indie video game, 1989, before the console wars. The status of our current studio is pretty good. We have halted development on the jam game. We are a portfolio piece, project, and net profit share team. We are BG Art House Studio. We have a website. The BG stands for Beat Generation. We have 7 members after the jam experience in Unity, which we will finish as a small game, and have finished up filling the last few slots with Unreal Engine developer, a level designer, 3 artists, 2D characters, animation and level design support, 3D environment artist, and a promo artist, and an audio lead, and then there's myself. We make experimental story-driven adventure and strategy games with a nod to the 90s or B sci-fi movie homage. The story style is kind of like That Dragon Cancer meets Alan Duff meets Hunter Thompson meets Burroughs, Kerouac, Ginsberg and Vonnegut. We're gearing up for another game jam hopefully, but first getting the team solid and working on the main game and finishing the game we started in our first jam. We're aiming to get a demo done by December, but if we don't make that, we really want to finish the first 3 stages by February. And we're looking at Kickstarter and itch.io next year, with gameplay videos on LinkedIn and on Insta and our website, and eventually a Steam prototype by September next year. Our first game using Unreal Engine is, like I said, 1989, before the console wars. It's a third-person shooter adventure story. It's a third-person adventure, story-driven but no shooting. 2D pixel art and 3D low-poly buildings and interiors environs, like Ethra by Stone Lab, but it's a video game set in rural New Zealand, with sweeping epic character-driven storylines in a semi-open world, feeling like topless women talk about their lives meets Bully on PS2, but indie as. So 2 to 3 player characters times 30 to 40 roughly pages of story each is the target for year 3. Next year we want to have at least 2 tutorial stages, 3 stage selects, and final stages for both of the 2 main player characters. Demos during December this year, but if we don't make that, we definitely want to make the February next year deadline. Keep your eyes peeled for developer diaries, updates, and behind-the-scenes screenshots, animations via the website, which is bg-arthouse.com. Working prototype due next year, September, via Steam.